Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a former Boeing 737 pilot, and welcome to another flight with the iFly Boeing 737-8200. Today we're going to do a Ryanair real ops flying from Dublin to Liverpool on a quick 30-minute hop across the Irish Sea. So let's get right into this one and start boarding our 737. It's just the beginning of the shift over here, so we are going to find a cold and dark airplane. Again, I just love the Ryanair cabin in the 8200. That's just so nice to have the complete original here. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started here by powering our airplane up for today's service. Now the good news is it's not all that hot just yet, so we can run without the APU for at least a little bit here. We are just going to keep an eye on that later on when our passengers are coming on board, but for the time being everything looks absolutely fantastic for an on-time departure right here from Dublin. Alright, so let's go ahead and test the flight recorders. That's looking good. The stick shakers. Alright, and then the IRSs are going into nav. Up here, everything's looking good. Okay, and then we can take a seat on the captain's seat of our 737-8200. Now let's go ahead and start with a couple of basics by looking into our flight plan. So that's going to be on the Navigraph app. Import the Simri flight plan, OFP, and here we go. So let's start with the weather. We are leaving Dublin. We've overall got some pretty good weather conditions here. Temperature 20 degrees, and then our alternate in Liverpool has a fantastic forecast. So I think this is going to be a nice and easy arrival. We do have an alternate over in Manchester, which is looking very good. And with all of that in mind, let's have a look into the plan. Leaving Dublin at 8:35, we're going to arrive on time in Liverpool. Our weights are all standard, cruising in level 150 according to this. And then we can have a look down into our fuel section, where we got 3.8 tons of fuel as a minimum, and that's exactly what I'm going to load over here. So let's go into the payload and balance, and then we can read that thing from the SimReef OFP. That's looking good, and for the fuel we are gonna take 3,800 kilograms. Like that. Now that is far too much cargo. Let's take 360 kilograms down there, make it a bit more realistic, giving us a zero fuel weight of 60.3, and that's what we got. So let's go ahead and load that thing in real time, and then we can also call for GSX to start the boarding procedure down here. We are going to use both airplane and airport stairs, handling by Ryanair please, and with that we are ready to go down here. So let's start our pre-flights by doing the light test, and that is all looking good. Then we can test these over here as well, thank you, and the oxygen test is looking good as well. Alright, cool, then we're done with all that stuff, so I'd say it's time to go out for the walk around. So let's just turn the hydraulic pumps on, and off we go. And the lights. Okay, so starting the walk around up here in the front, our TAT probe is looking good, the nose landing gear is looking good, and the wheel well is as well. Then we got our pitot probe, the AOA vane, and that's all fantastic. Same on this side, and the external power receptacle is looking good. Moving on, the door is closed flush, the static ports are checked, and then we can get around here. Not a lot of cargo for us to load really. So the ram air intake is clear, leading edge flap is clear, and our engine is looking fantastic. Then the bottom of the engine is as well, and then we can move up to our wing. And over here we got 2 green lights, all the static wick discharges are in place. That's all looking good. and then we can move all the way towards our landing gear and the wheel well, while also having a look into the back of the engine. Now, the landing gear is looking fantastic everywhere, and so are the tires, and the brakes are still pretty okay as well. Going into the wheel well, our hydraulics are still up, and no sign of leakages or anything. Then we can continue backwards, and they are just loading the last bits of cargo over here. So, the aft door is flush, the outflow valve is looking good, the elevator fuel pitot probe is looking good, leading edge of the stabilizer is looking good, static discharges are in place on the top over there as well. Then our nav lights are looking good, and moving along the airplane over here, everything's good, no sign of bird strike or something. Then let's check for tail strikes, and the tail skid is clean. Fantastic. Alright, so we continue moving up to the front once again, and the tires are looking good over here, everything is fine. Then a quick look at the squibs, which are nicely charged up here. Alright, so let's check the trailing edges, and everything is clear over here. That's all looking good. Leading edge, it's looking good, no signs of damages or bird strikes or something. And then we got another engine to check, where the inside is looking good, no scratch marks on the bottom, and looking at the fan, everything is in fantastic shape as well. Leading edge flap is looking good, and the ram air inlet is good. Finally, we do have some static ports over here, which are checked, and then let's get right back inside and into the flight deck so that we can start our pre-flight procedures. Okay then, let's take a seat over here and get started down on our FMC. We do want the electronic flight bag, we do need our operational flight plan here. That's all looking good, so let's get started. 737-8.2, 27K rating, nav database is up to date. We're in Echo India Delta Whiskey, and our GPS position is looking good. Let's paste that. Alright, for the route, Echo India Delta Whiskey, Echo Golf Golf Papa, and we are the Romeo Yankee Romeo 2 Sierra Mike. So, for our routing, we are leaving Dublin on the runway 28 right, and our route is the Bochum 3 Juliet, which is this one. Now, for the arrival, we are looking at an ILS approach runway 27, Bochum to Lima arrival, and that's all looking good, so let's take that route, activate, and continue. So, cost index is 6, reserve fuel is 1.8, which also is the Ryanair company minima, by the way. For our zero fuel weight, we are looking at 63.3. Even though I know that that is going to go down significantly, let's enter the OFP values first. Cruising level is good. The wind up there is 230 at 39. Like that. ISO deviation, well, it's minus 8 degrees upstairs. Let's go with that. And the transition altitude 5001. Now, in here we got a temperature of 20 degrees. And down here, nothing needed. Finally, for the legs page, we got Echo India Delta Whiskey, and the runway track is 276. And engine outset straight ahead for 25 miles. Insert that, and then we create a discontinuity. And finally, let's enter a holding at that waypoint, climbing to an altitude of 3,000 feet. Again, the buck is still there, so be it. Alright, so copy this, paste it here, and on the VNAV page 250 below 100 is in. Then let's go ahead and have a look at our SID. So we're going from Dublin, we need a couple of charts. So that's the taxi chart, that's the parking stand east, and then let's get our standard instrument departure. So, Bochum. If anyone sees the departure, do scream. Bochum 3 Juliet, here it is. Okay, and that thing is pinned, then let's go ahead and have a look. Okay, so at 650 feet, right turn, Delta Whiskey 128, and that's with a maximum of 210, Delta Whiskey 129, maximum 210, Delta Whiskey 124, and that's below level 90, then we got AdGov, and then continue to Bochum, maximum 290 below level 230, that's all looking good. Then those 290 are probably not going to be a problem at all, so what I'm going to do is copy and paste. I'll tell you what, that second Bochum is less restrictive than the first one, so let's ignore that and do it like this. Alright. With that, our FMC is prepared, so let's go into the rest of the setup here. The rest should be done rather quickly. So, fueling is finished. I just heard a boarding is completed, so let's go ahead and start that APU. Here we go. Then we got a runway in 80 feet, so 0 is correct. The rest over here is looking good. We do have maintenance. That's all looking good. Flight directors are coming on. Initial probably 5,000 or so. Like that. Runway heading 276. Like that, and the same for the courses. Alright, so traffic, airport, terrain, QNH to be confirmed, and the MFRA as well. Then down here, fuel flow reset, autobrake RTO, oil quantity is checked, hydraulic quantity is checked. These are on auto, looking good. You can also have an FMC, please. And then let's find out our frequencies. Why did it not pin the departure chart? Now it's pinned, okay. Alright, so airport chart and delivery 1229085. There's that. Then we got ground on 121.8. Alright, then we got the ATIS 12453, and of course the guard frequency. Like that. Alright, next up, let's have a look at the departure chart again. Yeah, I guess Dublin VOR 14.9 is good for our departure. Like that. Listen to VHF 1 and 2. Give me a nice volume here, not blow the ears away. Also want to hear my colleague. Less so the cabin, less so the PA. But that's all okay. Then the squawk machine goes into 2000. Ryanair doesn't have the above and below modes. For that reason, I'm just going to keep it in the middle so that we get a realistic indication on our displays. Alright, this is looking good. Actually, tell you what, you can stay right down there. That's okay. Alright, fantastic. And with that, we've got all of our departure preparations completed. So let's go ahead and grab the ATIS, and thereafter we can get the clearance.
T0 at 14. Visibility 10. View at 1400. Scattered at 2800. Temperature 20. Dew point 14. QNH 1010. Transition level 70. TCAS testing active in the approach area. Maintain vigilance. Advise on initial contact. You have information Charlie.
So, Atus
Dublin
Charlie.
Airport. Information Charlie. 0830 Zulu. Arriving runway 28 left. Departing runway 28 right. Wind 180 at 14. Visibility 10.
Okay, we got all the rest, so that's all looking good.
2800.
Thank you very much. Dublin delivery Ryanair 20 Mike, information Charlie, request IFR clearance to Liverpool. Okay, Charlie is on board, and we've had that, so we can remove that again down here. Like that.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, cleared to Liverpool via the Bow Thumb 3 Juliet departure. Runway 28 right, initial climb 4000. Departure on 119.555, squawk 5574.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, cleared to Liverpool via the Bow Thumb 3 Juliet departure 28 right, climb 4000, departure 119.555, squawk 5574. Okay, 28 right, Botham, 3 Juliet.
Mike, read back correct. Ground is on 130.79er. Safe flight, sir.
13079er, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike. Okay, so 4000, let's put that down here as well. Like that. Okay, so 19555. As a reminder, and 5574. Okay, fantastic. So then let's go for the departure briefing. Threats for today's departure? Honestly, none. So, route check. Echo India Delta Whiskey, Echo Golf Golf Papa, Romeo Yankee Romeo 2 Sierra Mike, and it's via Botham to Botham. And that's with a ground distance of 150 versus 151, 2.4 remaining, 1.8 required, 15 minutes extra. Time UTC is 0827, altimeter 1010, reading 210, MFRA is 1850, flight directors on minus master, standby instruments set. And we can set that cleared altitude over here. So, left seat takeoff, runway 28 right, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 2, and the backup in 1500, and our engine out is straight at to 25 miles, climbing 3000, that's going to keep us safe. And for the emergencies, above 80 knots, I'll only reject for fire or fire warning, engine failure, predictive wind chill warning if the aircraft is unable or unsafe to fly. If I call stop, I will simultaneously close the thrust levers and disengage the auto throttle, apply max manual braking, and verify operation of the RTO auto brakes. Manually raise the speed brake lever, apply maximum reverse thrust. When the aircraft comes to stop, I will set the parking brake. If you call stop, I note the brake sound speed and call speed picks up or speed picks not up and thruster is normal or abnormal indications. Call 100 knots, 8 knots, 6 knots and the runway distance remaining. Verify your actions, call in emissions, I call auto brake disarm and select flaps 40 when the parking brake has been set and advise ATC of the reject. We then identify the failure and carry out our drills as appropriate. If we decide to evacuate, we read and do the evacuation checklist. Time permitting, we'll pull the CB/RCB, you grab the lid and then we get out. If the call before we want us keep going, there'll be no actions below 400 feet except to cancelling warnings, erase and landing gear with a positive rate. At 400 feet, verify heading select and carry out the memory item. Set the MFRA, back up, recheck flaps and schedule. Flaps out no light, select level change, max and key thrust, engage the automatics. Non-normal checklist, normal checklist, PIOC and its PA, and then we come up with a plan. Now, if the decision is to make an immediate re-landing, 28 left is available and more than long enough, so if absolutely required, aka if the airplane is on fire, nothing we can do about it, then we can just fly a traffic pattern and come back. In any other case, we are going to take up a holding, figure out what we are going to do, take our time most importantly, and then make an informed decision. For our taxi, it's basically a pushback with a nose to the left-hand side. Then taxi maybe like this to runway 28 right, which we got available from the full length. And our departure is the Botham 3 Juliet, straight ahead to 650, then a right-hand turn, right-hand turn, right-hand turn, 210 knot restriction and the level 90 or below restriction, even though 4000 is the initial. So we are probably not going to have many problems with that. Do you have any questions or suggestions? No? Fantastic, so that's our briefing completed. So let's say hello to our passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from Flight. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel. In the name of Ryanair, welcome aboard of our Boeing 737-8-200 on our flight to Liverpool. We are expecting a flight time of just about 35 minutes with a smooth flight and an on-time arrival. For now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us, and we'll get back to you with the latest weather when we start the approach to Liverpool. Thank you very much, and once again, welcome on board. The cabin crew safety demo was over already, we heard it, so no need to bother with that again. Okay, so we got that stuff, then let's go ahead and get right into the performance, please. So we do have a zero fuel weight of 60.3, which is quite a bit lighter than what was expected, but a lot more realistic as well. So 64.1 is gonna be our takeoff weight. So let's go for the performance up here. We're in Echo India Delta Whiskey. The runway is the 28 right, it's a dry runway, it's a flaps 5 takeoff, air conditioning on, anti-eye is off. We will go with a D takeoff 2 and our takeoff weight is gonna be 64,100. Center of gravity 22.4. Like that. Let's load up the real weather. It's 1009 now. And that's set 3 times. And then let's hit calculate. And that's a flaps 5 takeoff with an assumed temperature of 49 degrees. So there's D takeoff 2, 49 degrees. Then we've got flaps 5, 22.4. Resulting in 6.3 units trim, like that, and our speeds 38, 38, 43, and that's all within 1 knot, so we can accept those FMS speeds. Okay, that's all looking good. Then we are ready with our setup, so let's go for the safety inspection checklist and the before start checklist down to the line, please. Services and shocks checked, maintenance status checked, batteries on, electric hydraulic pumps on, landing gear lever down, chips library checked, RS mode selector nav, ELT armed, gear pins 1 to 3 removed, probe covers 1 to 3, 4, 5 removed, yaw damper on, nav transfer and display switches normal and auto, fuel 3.8 required, 3.8 on board, 4 pumps on, cabin utility IFE galley power on, emergency exit lights on, fast modes on, window heat on, air compressed, pack auto bleeds on set, press mode selector auto, instruments cross-checked, all brakes RTO, hydraulics normal, speed brake. Down detent, parking brake set, stop and cutout switches normal, wheel fire warning checked, radius, radar and transponder set and standby, radar and aileron trims 3 and 0, takeoff briefing discussed, PA complete, FMC CDU set, and 1 on ES bucks. Automatic, reduce takeoff to 49 degrees, 38, 38, 44 set, stop trim 6.3 set, performance weight and balance, sign send, phones off, EFB, airplane mode stowed, flight windows and cockpit door. Locked, doors closed, passengers seated, before start checklist complete. Dublin ground, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, request pushback and startup.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, push and start approved, face west.
Push and start approved, face west, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike. Before start checklist below the line, air compacts off, anti-collision on, parking brake set, transponder alt off, before start checklist complete. Ground from cockpit. Pushback and startup approved, facing west, and the parking brake is released. Roger that, facing west, and you are clear to start engines 2 and 1 in that sequence. Thank you, commencing engine 2 start. And here's engine 2. And 2. So, N1, oil pressure.
Whiskey 2, Ryanair 9er Foxtrot Mike.
Self-test in progress. In the real world, that blinking sequence is a little bit different from what the iFly has. What's Lufthansa doing on the outside position? Not able to pay? Well, let me do one thing real quick. I'm gonna turn those panel brightnesses up, because it makes it a lot easier to read the panel. Okay, static cutout, isolated pack, and monitor 2 starting 1. So, pushback completed, set brakes. Brake set. I just think this makes it a lot easier to read everything. Something like that. Alright. So, N2, N1. There should be oil pressure there at some point.
Right taxi via Whiskey 2, hold short of runway 34.
And there is.
Runway 28 right taxi via Whiskey 2, hold short of runway 34, United 22.
Alright, so ground, we have 2 good starts, clear to disconnect, show me the pin on the right hand side, and have a wonderful day, bye bye. So, that's the tug, that's the tow bar. Starter cutout, monitor 1. 1 is stable. Okay, there's the ramp agent, there's the pin.
Ryanair 9 Mike Papa, taxi to parking.
Ryanair 9 Mike Papa, taxi to parking via Sierra 5, Sierra, Whiskey 2, hold short of runway
Flight
34.
controls. Full up.
Sierra 5, Sierra
Full down.
Whiskey 2, hold
Neutral.
short of runway 34.
Full left.
Ryanair 9 Mike Papa.
Full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, and neutral. Default taxi checklist. Generators on, APU off, start switches continuous, probe heat on, anti-ice off, air conditioning, PAX auto, bleeds on, isolation valve auto, flaps 5 required, 5 selected, and green light. Step trim 613 required set, start levers idly turned, flight controls checked, recall checked, default taxi checklist complete. Ryanair 20 Mike, request taxi.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, runway 28 right taxi via Link 5, F inner, Link 6, Delta Sierra, Charlie, Link 7, Kilo, November 1.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, taxi Link 5, and then over the inners to Fox Delta, Charlie, Kilo, and November 1. Okay, so there's straight ahead Link 5 over the inners. So that's Fox inner, Charlie, Kilo, November 1. Alright, so we are basically taking the apron
54
route.
Victor Juliet, contact tower on 128.8.
Config.
Ground Speedbird 826, taxi to the ramp.
We are light. We are very light.
6, taxi to parking via Sierra 5 Sierra, hold short of runway 34.
Sierra 5, Sierra hold short of runway 34, Speedbird 826.
Is the bus pushing as well? Is that just an illusion? No, it is moving. Okay, let's make sure that we are gonna be number 1 then. So, the left is clear, the right is clear. It looks so tight, but everyone is behind their lines, so that is okay. Note to myself, taxiing while in an exterior view is not that easy. Okay, that's gonna be the cabin. Hi. Thank you. Okay, so here's Charlie. Look at all the Ryanair. So there is that Delta. Is it Delta? No, Air Canada. That's in front of us. Okay, before takeoff checklist down to the line. Config check, flaps 5 green light, step trim 6.3 set, takeoff briefing. Left to takeoff, runway 28 right, flaps 5, noise 2.5, and we've got packs, auto bleeds on, anti-ice off. Takeoff speeds 138, 138, 144, and the sit straight ahead with a right turn out. Contact departure when advised by our traffic control, and climbing 4,000. For the emergencies, we climb straight at 25 miles, climbing 3,000, and 28 left is available both for an immediate return as well as for a normal return. Okay, any questions or suggestions? No? Fantastic. Cabin secure before takeoff checklist complete. Okay, so it is a 787. For a moment I wasn't quite sure if it was a 767, but Air Canada doesn't fly those anymore. So we got two aircraft ahead of us. Not too bad. One of them is a heavy though. That means 2 minutes separation between him and us, which we do have to ensure. So, nice and slow, please.
Ryanair 9 and Mike Papa Cross, runway 34.
Okay, the Neo is lining up.
Ryanair 9 or Mike Papa.
The left is clear.
WestJet 43 ready for push and start.
WestJet 43, push and start approved.
WestJet at this time of the day as well.
Pushback approved, WestJet 43.
Interesting. There's a lot of airlines here that I would have expected to be flying a little later. But hey, why not?
American 09 are ready to taxi.
So, normally I would stop over here because of that signage, but I think for same intentions to recognize where we are going, we need to go a little bit further. So that's fine. We're not in a rush right now, so if the plane taxis on 6 knots on idle, that's fine with me as well. 128 is Malay, Ryanair 20 Mike.
Air Canada 919, a contact tower on 128.
Okay, and then 19555 for the departure. Like that. Okay. Dublin Tower, Ryanair 20 Mike, ready for departure. So let's stop here.
Ryanair 20 Mike, Dublin Tower, runway 28 right, hold short, you're number 1 behind the 787.
Going to departure, Eurowings 5 Bravo Mike, thanks.
Alright, the 787 is lining up. We can take it nice and slow.
Approaching 28 right.
That's correct. So as you can see, there are no more markings over here. That's because the markings were all the way back there. But in order for the program to recognize us, we had to be closer to the runway. So the 78 is rolling. Let's take a timer down there.
Ryanair 20 Mike, runway 28 right, line up and wait.
Runway 28 right, line up and wait, Ryanair 20 Mike.
Ryanair 20 Mike, runway 28 right, cleared for takeoff.
Ryanair 20 Mike, we need to wait a minute for wake turbulence. Okay.
Mike, runway 28 right, line up and wait.
Alright, below the line, MCP, set, transponder, Tara, strobe lights on, and holding at the landing lines.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, runway 28 right, winds 180 at 14, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 28 right, clear for takeoff, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna give it a little more before I initiate the takeoff roll. They need a bit more spacing with a medium aircraft behind a heavy. I do like the way that St. Intentions is separating medium behind medium now. But medium behind heavy needs a little more time. Let's give it until we have 30 on the watch to avoid that wake turbulence, and then it's gonna be okay. So, cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff. So, clearance is received, everything is set. That's all looking good, then let's go. Timing.
American 132 contact ground on 130
Stabilized.
decimal 79er.
Set takeoff thrust.
To ground, American 132, thanks.
Takeoff thrust set, indications normal. $80 knots, checked. Ooh, that's a nice gust. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. LNAV. Oh yeah, that's gotta be the wakes of the 787.
United 22 at 28 right, ready when able. United 22, runway 28 right, winds 180 at 13, cleared for takeoff. Rolling 28 right, United 22.
Buck up.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, contact Dublin departure on 119er decimal 555.
119er 555, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike. Bye bye. Flaps 1.
Gemstone
Speed
Tower,
check.
Hotel Alpha, winds 180 at 1.
And flaps up. Speed check, flaps up. Dublin, good morning, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, passing 2,300, climbing 4,000.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, Dublin departure identified, climb flight level 060.
Climb flight level 060, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike. Set. And then we got flaps up, no lights. VNAV, set standard. And after takeoff checklist. So that's air cannon press, 1.8, climbing and set.
Sierra Mike, contact Dublin Center on 126.25.
12625, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike. Dublin, good morning, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, passing level 53, climbing level 60. Vertical speed.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, Dublin Centre identified. Good morning, climb flight level 150.
Climbing flight level 150, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike. Set, 150 checked, VNAV. Okay, so let's clear that level 90 restriction. And here we go. And just to confirm, the after takeoff checklist, air cannon press, climbing and set, and altimeter standard, after takeoff checklist complete. Okay, release the cabin crew. That's just to ensure that I can sell something on this flight. Then we can do a little bit more manual flying and maybe get a direct Beaufort. Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, any chance to proceed direct Beaufort?
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, cleared direct Balno.
Roger, direct to Beaufort, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike. Alright, and LNAF available, LNAF. Good. Altimeters, passing 100, climbing 150, 10 checks. But I will quickly fly that acceleration manually here, and thereafter we can do the 10 checks. Okay, that's fuel balanced with 4 pumps on, lights off, APU off, air cannon press at 5.0? Okay. Climbing, well maintaining and set, fasten belts. Well, this might stay turbulent here, so I am going to keep the passengers strapped in. So, fasten belts on, recall tracked, 1 to 1.5 is getting monitored. And that's the 10 checks completed. So, set vertical speed 3000. Set vertical speed 2000. I do like these exercises where you can do a little bit of hand flying because you're at low altitude, and where you can simply practice flying the aircraft accurately. That's probably the main reason I like these ultra-short flights. Okay, set vertical speed 1000. And here we go. So we no longer need this, since we do have the engines in climb thrust. Yeah, we'll probably need anti-ice, so engine anti-ice on. I don't think we can reasonably get above this. So passengers are gonna stay seated for the flight. Not much we can do about it. If that's the weather, that's the weather. And if they could always have gone by boat if they would have liked to get up. Our colleague could quickly tell the cabin crew that the passengers will remain seated for the flight. But that's not really our problem. So, I'll acquire VNAV. And here we go. Level. Come on, A. Okay, let's see if we can get the Asus for our destination airport. Liverpool, Asus, 124330.
Air Portugal 13 Juliet, contact London Control on 130.925.
Fuel 3400. Scattered
130.925, Air Portugal 13 Juliet, thanks.
QNH 1014. Transition level 60. Advise on initial contact, you have information echo. Liverpool John Lennon Airport, information echo. 09er20 Zulu. Arriving and departing runway 27. Wind 190 at 6. Visibility 10. Fuel at 3400. Scattered at 4100. Temperature 23, dew point 16.
Okay, that's all looking good. QNH 1014, the rest of the stuff is on board. Then let's do some very quick FMC setup here. Actually, we don't need that. Here we go. So let's just see, is the wind data blocked on this one? No. On this one? Yes. So that's all looking good. Speed 250 below 100. Forecast level 100. And that's 206 at 39. QNH 1014. And that makes it a transition level. Altitude is 5, so transition level is 6. Like that. Runway 27. Then we'll take 45 / 10/4.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, contact Valley radar on 125.23.
12523, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike. Radar, good morning, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, flight level 150. Alright, 266.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, Valley radar identified. Good morning, Fingal QNH 1013. Expect the ILS runway 27 approach into Liverpool. Let me know you've got information. Echo.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, information echo on board, QNH 1014, expect the ILS 27. Okay, so all that stuff is in here. Elevation, let's set 50. And the minimum is 278. Like this. Alright, fantastic. So we got the basics. Let's see. Airport chart, runway 27. We'll probably not be able to make Foxtrot, so we're going to vacate via Golf. There's 2,200 meters available. So let's run some calculations. Landing en route. Echo Golf Golf Papa. Runway 27. Runway is dry. Flaps 30. Air conditioning on. Anti-ice off. Brakes 3. Reversers all inner because we will be using idle.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, contact London Control on 133.6.
133.6, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike. London Control, good morning, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, flight level 150.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, London Control identified. Good morning.
Okay, got that. So, burning 500, 62,600. Like that, VRF Edition 5, load the real weather, that's looking good. Calculate. Surprise, we can land. What's auto brake 2 giving us? Nah, that's too tight. So auto brake 3, flap 30. Not gonna enter the flap setting just yet, because we do that later during the briefing. And then let's go for the approach briefing, please. Threats for the arrival? Honestly, I don't see any. Okay, so for our briefing, we got 250 below 100, forecast page filled out, fixed rings 27, 10 miles, 4 miles. For the arrival, let's have a quick look at that one. We are flying the Botham arrival, and that's the Botham to Juliet. No, sorry, Botham to Lima.
Descend via Botham to Lima to flight level 070 into Liverpool.
When ready, descend flight level 70 via the Botham to Lima, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike. Set, 70 checked. Okay, he did not actually say when ready, so let's start now.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike,
and engine RTIs off.
On 118.455.
118.455, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike. Liverpool approach, Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, leaving level 147, descending level 70, information echo. Okay, so Donax Mallet Typet.
Liverpool approach identified. Good morning.
And that's 210 knots and flight level 70. Thereafter, I'm leaving the discontinuity in because it will eventually lead us towards the final. The ILS is on the chart 11-3 from 10th of October 25. 175 and 266 are cross-checked, and the minimum's 278 is set. The approach starts at the Fox in 2000, 3 degrees, down to the minimum, go around straight ahead 1,500 feet, and then turn right to the locator climbing 2000 as directed, and we got 1,500 Liverpool locator, then we can delete the holding down there, execute, that's looking good. Okay, so Liverpool 349.5, let's go ahead and tune that. So 349.5, then we can switch that onto number 1 over here. Okay, so looking good, and climbing 2,000 feet only. That is a little bit of a threat there because we do have a very light weight, so just got to be careful that we do not overshoot that altitude. Oh, look at that, we need to reduce our vertical speed even. Okay, give me something like 600. And that is about 750 maybe. What does the VNAV page say? Type 70? 778, yep. So we're looking good at 800. Okay, fantastic. So, that much for that part of the briefing. Then 2.3 is the arrival fuel, 1.8 the minimum, 500 extra, giving us about 10 minutes. We're burning 400, which gives us a landing weight of 62.7. And we had calculated earlier, flaps 30, oil brakes 3 to vacate the runway to the left-hand side. And that's pretty much it. For the taxi-in, it's quite easy via Alpha, and then we'll see where they're gonna park us. I really have no idea, so we are just gonna find out about that. Do you have any questions on the briefing? No? Alright, so then it's your ATC for a moment, and I'm going to make a PA to our passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck again, your captain speaking. As promised, a little briefing on our approach. We are now descending towards Liverpool. We've already covered about half of our flight, looking at an expected remaining flight time that's in the region of approximately 15 minutes. The weather in Liverpool, a little bit cloudy, temperatures of 23 degrees. Thanks very much for choosing Ryanair for today's flight. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and we look forward to welcome you all again on board of future service. Thank you very much for your attention, and we hope to see you all again soon. Okay, I'm back, my ATC. And then let's do the descent checklist, please. So, that is... pressurization, land alt 50, any eyes off, approachment fuel disgusting, eyes and all box checked and set. Checklist complete. Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, any chance to proceed direct type pod? Would save us that little right-hand turn there.
Ryanair 2 Sierra Mike, negative. Continue via Bofam to Lima, arrival.
Okay, it was worth a try. Too bad. But yeah, can't really do much about it. Then we've at least got to use this for some screenshots.
Climb and maintain flight level 070. Climb flight level 070, Ryanair 5151.
Pretty little airplane. I wish the systems were on the same level as the PMDG, but, you know. So now we need exactly 750, so let's give it 750 like this. Okay. Altimeters. Passing level 101, descending level 70, 10 checks. The fuel is balanced and we got 4 pumps on, lights are on, angular bank 25, air cannon pressed. Is at 5 point something, maintaining and set. Fast mode's on, recall is checked. 1215 still on the monitor. Cabin crew, 10 minutes to landing. And that's our 10 checks complete. At this moment we're not receiving the ILS yet, we're still on standard QNH, so there is no reason to do the approach checklist or anything yet. Now, in case you're wondering why I'm not commenting on the differential pressure values being slightly out of the normal expectation, that's because of our low cruising level. You can see on this scale there that if the cruise is below flight level 160, the cabin altitude is going to equal the landing altitude, so in our case 50 feet. Now, that means that since the cabin is not climbing at all, we are going to have slightly out of the ordinary differential pressure values, but that's nothing to worry about because the cabin altitude is down on the ground anyway already. So that's why we are expecting 0 climb or descent rate for the cabin and differential pressure figures that are slightly out of the ordinary. For this phase of flight, that is indeed completely normal. Alright then, let's have some fun. So, manual flight and manual thrust. We still have a little bit to fly, but that's what I like about these super short flights. In the real world, I would probably have done all the approach preparations on the ground already, except for the frequencies, courses and minimums, and therefore would have flown the entire flight manually, without the autopilot at all. In the flight simulator, since we do not have pilot monitoring, that's of course a little problematic, but, you know, now that we've got everything done, always a good moment to get in a little bit of practice of manual flying over here. Especially as a long-haul pilot, of course, because, you know, on the long hauls we don't get to do much manual flying at all anymore. But yeah, can't have it all. Ryanair 20 Mike, any speed restriction?
Ryanair to Sierra Mike, no speed restrictions currently.
No speed restriction, Ryanair to Sierra Mike. Perfect, then we don't have to reduce to the 210 at input, or type hot. Ryanair to Sierra Mike, request radar vectors for the approach. He was gonna wait to the last second, huh? What is it trimming?
Turn right heading 095, descend 7000, vectors for the ILS runway 27 approach.
Right 095, Ryanair to Sierra Mike. Did you just see how that stabilizer just started turning? Gotta retrim all of that. So the airplane does have MCAS at the end of the day. I thought iFly always said they don't simulate it. Well, here we go. Okay, alt acquire. And here we are. So let's find the right pitch power settings, alt hold. There you go, it's looking quite good, isn't it? No hands on the controls. Well, hands on of course, but you know what I mean. So let's just build something. like this, so that we get some proper VNAV guidance here. Now here's what I like about the iFly. Since Subspec 1, she's gotten really stable. Only occasional inputs required there, as our speed is not 100% constant. But apart from that, she's a really stable platform now, just like the real 737 MAX is. As long as we're on top of the clouds. The moment we get into this, it is gonna get turbulent. But even then, the 737 isn't that much of a bitch, at least as long as you have speed. Once you're getting slow, that changes quite a bit. So, on the final approach, when you do enter the mechanical turbulence from the wind going over obstacles on the ground, that's when things can get interesting here. But apart from that, very easy.
Ryanair to Sierra Mike, speed 185 knots.
Reducing 185, Ryanair to Sierra Mike. Okay. In the real world, you would have dialed up the up speed, and only then, once you've extended the flaps, you would have turned it lower. But since we are doing manual flight here, and
Ryanair to
since...
Sierra Mike, turn left, heading 090.
Left 090, Ryanair to Sierra Mike. Okay, flaps 1. And I'm gonna make that slightly faster, 187, because then we can keep flaps 1. Temperature is 13 degrees, so we don't need to worry about anti-ice here. There is one aircraft on approach that was at a 10-mile final, so he's probably going to vector us out far enough. And here we go. Let's try about 50% N1. In the 737 NG, 60% N1 is the magical figure. Descend at 3000, Ryanair to Sierra Mike. Set, 3000 checked. Level change, set QNH. QNH 1014, cross check, passing 6900 now. Checked. Okay, so Frisk. Frequency is 11175. Rings, runway 27, 10 miles, 4 miles. Idents, India, Lima, Quebec. Standby instrument set. Course is 266. Approach checklist, please. So that's altimeter instruments. Cross checked. Approach aids checked and set. Approach checklist completed. So the rate of descent is good enough that I don't need to add any speed brakes or something. If he descends us down that way, then turns us final, a beam the center fix, or even further, a beam, you know, a 10-mile final or something, then we are absolutely in a good spot here. In fact, we could go ahead and even reduce the rate of descent a bit more. Let's do 500 feet a minute here so that we get a nice and constant way down. After all, they are very picky on continuous descent approaches over in the UK, so let's go ahead and give them one if they need one. Very, very picky on continuous descent approaches. The level 70 was unavoidable. Ryanair themselves does track the approaches below level 100, so by going in alt hold below level 100, according to our personal statistic, we would have busted the continuous descent approach, but at the end of the day, the one...
Ryanair to Sierra Mike, verify you're descending to 3086, go to be departed and intenta.
Therefore, we're descending 3000, Ryanair to Sierra Mike. Okay, he wants more rate of descent. Let me just say it. Then let's see when he's going to give us the base turn. While you're on the downwind, going away from the field, it's always a good idea to look at the standby at the ISFD. Because over there you've already got the glide slope, which you do not have on the primary flight displays. The PFDs are only going to show you the glide slope when you're within 90 degrees from the runway heading. So we could take the base turn any moment now. But I want to see what ATC has in store for us, because Sane Tensions have worked a lot on the radar vectoring recently. So this should be quite a bit better now than it used to be in the past. So I'm excited to see when he's going to turn us into the base and then how he's going to turn us into the final.
Ryanair to Sierra Mike, turn right heading 220.
Right, 220 Ryanair to Sierra Mike. See, that's what I said. That seems to be a pretty nice vector to the center fix. Or rather to the final fix. Let's maintain a nice rate of descent here.
Ryanair to Sierra Mike, descend 3000 feet.
Descend at 3000, Ryanair to Sierra Mike. You don't need to repeat yourself, I'm doing the CDA. You're not getting that citation today, my friend, even though it might bring you a bonus. Checked. Let's do 500 feet a minute. The CDA counts as busted when you are level for more than 2.5 nautical miles. So, you know, by reducing the rate of descent like we are doing over here.
Ryanair to Sierra Mike, 9 miles from FF27. Turn left heading 220. Descend altitude 2000 feet until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 27 approach.
Ryanair to Sierra Mike, descending 2000 until established, cleared ILS 27. Okay, set, 2000 checked. And that is looking perfect. If we maintain this rate of descent, we're going to reach 2000 just about at the final fix, and that is where we are going to leave 2000 according to the arrival. So that's all we can ask for. Cabin crew, please take your seats for landing. What's going on now? Why is it constantly stowing that speed brake again? There you go, this is better. So, nice and shallow descent here. In the real world I find it a little bit easier to maintain those 500 feet a minute exactly. Hello? Thank you. Yeah, in the real world it's a tad easier to maintain that rate of descent. But then again, for an entertainment flight simulator, this is getting quite close. Terrain noted. Flaps 5. Speed checked.
Ryanair 44 Tango Tango contact London Control on 133.6.
Localizer capture.
Ryanair to Sierra Mike, contact Liverpool Tower on 126.355 at FF27.
126.355, Ryanair to Sierra Mike, bye bye.
133.6, Ryanair 44 Tango Tango, see you.
Liverpool Tower, Ryanair to Sierra Mike, established ILS 27. Alright, glide slope capture, go on altitude set.
Ryanair to Sierra Mike, Liverpool Tower, roger, continue approach.
So, the field is on 12 o'clock. Just on the shore. We are nicely established.
Mike, runway 27, winds 190 at 6, clear to land.
Runway 27, clear to land, Ryanair 20 Mike. Clear to land. So nice VMC, that means we are going to configure at 4 miles. Gear down, flaps 15. And flaps 30. Speed checked, flaps 30. So, landing checklist down to... well, landing checklist. Start switches, continuous, recall, check, speed brake, arm green light, landing gear down 3 green, auto brake 3 set, flaps 30, 30 green light, and landing lights on. Landing checklist complete, crew seated, clear to land. The max slows a little quicker than the real one does. A lot quicker actually. The real max, when you do go... you know, when you do start configuring at 4 miles, you're normally completely done with everything at about 700 feet. So, there's that. But anyway, we got wind from the left. Wind check. Ooh. Yep, told you there's a bit of wind here.
400. 300.
Disregard that glide for the time, huh?
200. Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Speed brake up, thrust goes normal. $100 knots. 80 knots. 60 knots, manual brakes. And with that, welcome to Liverpool. Yeah, that was one flight sim-ism on the short final there. You know, in the real world, the vertical speed wouldn't change that drastically just because the wind changes a bit. Because the airplane has momentum and has inertia.
Welcome to Liverpool. Exit at Delta if able. Contact ground on 121.955.
121.955, Ryanair 20 Mike, bye-bye. Alright, you tune that for me, please. Liverpool ground, Ryanair 20 Mike, request taxi to the gate.
Ryanair 20 Mike, taxi to main apron gate 3 via Delta Alpha Whiskey, good day.
Gate 3, Delta Alpha Whiskey, Ryanair 20 Mike, good day. So if there would be a taxiway sign anywhere here, that would have been appreciated. There isn't. So, Whiskey is indeed this one over here. Gate 3 is over there in front of the terminal. Okay. That's looking good. Then let's do the after landings. So can anyone play the jingle? I guess not. Alright, that shall be fine with me. then we've just got to help ourselves that way. So, main stance, 3, no follow me needed. And weather radar absolutely is going to go off. Okay, cool. So here's stunt number 6. Then we are probably parking to the right of that Ryanair there. Or to the left of that one? Probably to the left of that one. We'll find out. 23 degrees, start APU. Not gonna do the turnaround without the APU at these temperatures. In Dublin it was alright, it wasn't too warm, but here, you know. People want cheap tickets, so we give them cheap tickets. Okay, there's a guidance system. And 3 minutes since touchdown are over. Number 2 cut off. Okay, no martial law, then we just gotta stop ourselves. And this looks good. Alright. 2 blue, 1 red, engines dead. Alright, they've said it already. Then, let's go ahead and shut that thing down.
Ryanair 6 Mike Bravo, doors closed, ready for push and start.
Ryanair 6 Mike Bravo, push and start approved.
Pushback approved, Ryanair 6 Mike Bravo.
So, deboarding is requested. We do need the air stamp, please. Okay, transit shutdown checklist. Electrical, on APU, fast mode off, probe bleed auto, NEIs off, voice recorder on, air compacts auto, engine bleeds on, APU bleed off, exterior lights, steady and wheel well, start switches off, auto brake off, speed brake down to 10, flaps up no light, parking brake set, start levers cut off, weather radar off, transponder 2000 standby, CVR CB in, cockpit door unlocked, and that's the transit shutdown checklist complete. Well guys, and with that, welcome to Liverpool. Thank you very much to InnyBuilds at this point for providing me the copy of Liverpool for the purpose of the video. And with that out of the way, I'd say thank you very much for watching. As always, like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thanks very much for watching, like, comment and subscribe, and then I'm looking forward to see you all again right on the next one.